My name is Kristina Flathers. I am head of library services across the Nemours enterprise. And today I'm going to show you Pivot. And what we're going to talk about today is a way, we've been harassing everybody to set up ORCID profiles. And this is another opportunity to utilize that ORCID profile because this is going to allow you to have grant opportunities just kind of sent to you passively. It's not very painful to set this up. So we're going to take a quick look. Some institutions have this, if you don't have an account, some institutions have this use login from my institution. Delaware has it. University of Delaware has it. I'm not sure if Del State does. I think Jefferson does. You still have to set up a profile though. So I'm going to show you how to create an account. Like I said, it's not painful at all. You're going to click this use email address, create password, and all they want from you is your name, your institutional email, because that's how they're verifying you have access, create a new password for it. And then here, you will select your institution. So you will put Nemours here, and then it's going to ask you to consent because you're going to be doing some data sharing between already public information. Click You're Not a Robot, create an account. It's going to send you an email to verify that you have access to that institutional email. And then you're done. You can start building your profile. So I'm going to go back a step so I can log in. I'm logged into my Google account, so it auto-filled my login information for me. So I'm just going to sign in. I'm going to put Nemours. And this is what our page looks like. We can customize this page. You have a bunch of options from here. You can start searching immediately. You can, once you start searching, you can track opportunities. You can do a profile, and that's what we're going to work on today. So I'm going to click into my profile. And once we have kind of enough people that have profiles, we can do internal profile sharing to help set up collaboration. So what we're going to do from here is we are going to edit our profile. It's going to pop open in a different tab. And it allows me to do a lot of different things from here. So I can add a link or upload a file. I actually could upload my CV into here. And I had this already set up, but I cleared everything so you guys could see how to do it. There's personal websites. So if you are somebody who has a faculty page, and you can have multiple faculty pages at multiple institutions, you can put in your find a doc page, find a researcher page. If you have a personal website, all of those things can be added here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link to a publications page. So I opened Scopus in another tab, and that's just scopus.com. I'm going to search for myself. Ooh, might help if I spell my name correctly. Oh, come on. There we go. Come on, sign in. So there I am. And I'm just going to copy and paste from the URL bar at the top. Go into this one and add that link. So add, that's all I need to do. Like I said, I can keep adding other things. And now I'm going to add that ORCID profile, and I actually can go back into Scopus to pull that. I'm going to accept the cookies. And I actually am going to sign into my account. Now, I've done this before, so it's going to let me skip a step. Because I've done this before, it is going to let me skip the step where I am granting access. So I'm going to associate my ID. Because I'm logged in, it's going to allow me to do it, and it's going to drop it in. If you have not done this before, if you're not already signed into your ORCID account, it's going to have a couple steps to make sure you're authorizing that transmission of information about you. So why are we doing all these steps? So we're really doing this to build a profile of your publications, your grants, your interests, your accomplishments. And then this is going to allow Pivot to passively send you relevant funding opportunities. So we're going to add a few more things. This is an international standard name identifier. This is normally used for the creative arts. So if you publish poetry, if you write novels, if you've been involved in television, the theater, musician, you're going to have an ISNI underneath here. So most people here won't have it. Web of Science researcher ID. We don't have Web of Science at Nemours. You can still go in. You will actually click into Clarivate and you can create a Web of Science profile. There is a high level of overlap between Scopus and Web of Science. And if you're already pulling in ORCID, you probably already have everything. But if you'd like to set up a Web of Science profile, you can. Let me click that. I am going to add some expertise. So this is one of the few places where there is free text that you can add anything you'd like. So I'm going to put pediatric libraries, hospital libraries, medical libraries. And you can just kind of keep adding here for as many things as you are consider yourself to be an expert in. Affiliations, add as many as you want. My current affiliation is only with Nemours. I had been adjunct faculty at University of Delaware in the past, so I can add that. If you are also with University of Delaware, Del State, TJU, even if you have an affiliation in the past that you would like to add, anything to add more to your picture, you can add as much or as little information as you want. So I'm going to hit cancel. You do have to close each of these. Same thing with your education. We encourage you to add at least your most recent education. So mine is my master's. You can add back to undergrad, residency, pre-doc, post-doc. All of this information can be added for education. Especially if you wrote or you published or you won an award that you want to link to previous work, add that education. But again, as much or as little as you want. Keywords is kind of interesting. So keywords is going to start to autofill. You can add as many things as you would like in here. So I know medical libraries is under here. I'm doing an osteosarcoma working group right now. So it does not have osteosarcoma. Oop, might help if I could spell that correctly. It does not help. It does not have an osteosarcoma autofill, but you are going to want to make sure you are using not just the language that we use on the scientific side of it, but the language that the people who are funding the grants might use. So I'm going to put both osteosarcoma and bone cancer, and I can keep adding to this. There's no limit on this. I only speak and write and read English, but if you have others, you can add them. There's also a limit once we get all these set up on the other side. Associations, you will see grants that come from specific associations. So you can add those so that they will show up in your feed that you're building right now. And then any honors that you have. I love that they put Nobel Prize in here, but any top researcher awards, you won a podium presentation, you were named a certain sort of scholar, add them in here if you think they add to your picture. So I'm done. It wasn't hard. I'm going to go back to my profile page. It's going to reload and give it a chance to fully reload. I always like to kind of switch it again. And then I have funding opportunities. And I can do a lot of things with these funding opportunities. So I did not put in a lot of like areas of interest in this. I could keep adding more areas of interest. But if there are things in here that look good to me and I am working with collaborators internally, or I have a mentor, or I'm working with somebody externally, there's lots of things I can do with this as well. So automatically, I always click this button, which is why it's already showing for me. I can have a weekly email sent to me, and I can flag that and look at that whenever I have time during the week. I also can, as I started to say, I can start to kind of pick some of these and see what's going on with them. So I get information as soon as I go into it. There's a limited submission for this. The upper amount is $500,000. You have to be at an academic non-for-profit institution. It's telling me my career stage. It's giving me all of the information that I need at the very top. I also can limit these over on the left-hand side. So I have nonprofit already checked off from a previous search, and I have mid-career already checked off from a previous search. So let me uncheck those. Once you're logged in, those things do say, and I kept United States up. If I take United States off, that will also open to a bunch of different submission sites. So if I have partners that are in Canada or the UK or any of these other countries, I can do that. There is usually also an opportunity for it to be in different languages. We might just have to click into more. Um, but mine went from what I was at 17 and now I'm at 141 total opportunities. And it's all based on what I looked at earlier. So I'm just going to pick a couple of these because I can track them to see if the opportunities change. I can also export them. I am an Excel fan for stuff like this because you can track it. But if I am working with someone in another group, I'm going to export this to a Word doc. The Word doc looks exactly like what we're looking at on the screen when we open the full opportunity. So you don't have to worry about, oh, do I have all the information I need? It shows you when it's due, who's eligible, and what the money is in the top 3 lines. So this is a very kind of simple, straightforward way to get opportunities based on what you're actually into and your previous work. It's using large language modeling to see what you've won, and then or what you've researched, what you study. You're adding in more information by giving it the expertise. You're adding in more information by giving it keywords, even if it's something you haven't done before. That expertise and keyword area allows you to kind of spread your wings a little bit and look in other areas. So it's a quick overview of how your profile can really help you find opportunities quickly. I don't think that was too painful. I've been showing you for less than 10 minutes, and I have 141 things to look at. And like I said, you can add in any of these filters at any time to just kind of clear things up a little bit, make it a little bit tighter. So does anybody have any questions or concerns?